gotta go to book club.
Yeah, it's that time again.
Do you know what book we're reading?
Catcher in the Rye, I think.
Again?
We're just reading it for the first time.
Oh, yeah, that's right, I forgot. Whatever, let's go.
Yep.
Alright, you guys. I'm just gonna take a brief attendance. Oh. Okay, so you guys, as you know, we're reading The Catcher in the Rye, and today we're gonna start summaries. I hope you guys all read. You guys all read, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's start with you, Diana.
Hi.
For Catcher in the Rye, what is your opinion on Holden in the beginning of the story?
Holden seems really annoying at first. I mean, there's a lot that's going on with him. He just got kicked out of school. He got kicked off the fencing team. Even though he wasn't technically on it, he was just the manager, but he lost all their stuff on the way to a tournament in New York City. And he just seems really mad at everything.
Not everything. Do you think there's a reason behind this?
I guess somewhere later on, I think in chapter 5, he starts talking about his brother.
His brother.
Yeah, his younger brother. His younger brother's name is Ali. Like, he died from leukemia when he was 13. So I feel like that's a very significant event. That
Tragic event.
Yeah.
Very, very tragic. And this tragic event, how did it affect his character?
I feel like it's hindered him from like growing up. He doesn't want to grow up because he lost his innocence at such a young age. But in a way, he wants to preserve the innocence of others later on in the book. So he called everyone like a phony.
Me too.
Yeah. Where was she again?
She was talking about Holden being phony. Now,
Yeah, he is a pony. So
he is a
what?
phony. But what exactly do you believe it was Ali who forced him to like hate people that acted phony? You know?
Well, I don't think it's, well, yeah, I do think it's Ali's fault, but Ali died of leukemia, so I guess it isn't his fault that he died. But that was a really huge toll on Holden, so I think that's what like made him think and believe that everybody else is a phony and just hate life. But I don't know why he hates life. Doesn't make sense.
And I'm aware that when Holden arrived in New York, what reason did he do it? Why? Why did he go to New York instead of going straight to his home where he would be safe?
Well, he got kicked out of Pensy,
Yeah.
and he didn't want to disappoint his parents. So, like typical Holden, he goes to like a hotel because he thinks he's an adult. So he goes to New York City, rents a hotel. I don't know what the name is, but while he's there, he gets in like a lot of problems and issues, especially with like this prostitute, a hooker named I forgot her name. You guys know her name?
Sunny.
Oh yeah, it was Sunny.
Little son.
Yeah, Little Sunny. And instead of like, doing things with her, like you would do with a prostitute, he doesn't do that. He wants to talk to her and talk about like flowers in life.
Such a gentleman, right?
I know, he is a gentleman. Not really, but
That's a lot.
yeah, he does. He does cuss a lot, right? And yeah, and then out of nowhere, like the next day, I think her pimp came and told him.
No, it was like later that day, I think.
Was it later that day or was it?
No, yeah, I think it was the next day.
It was the next day? I don't know. It doesn't even matter because he got beat up anyway by the pimp for like money. And I think I don't know what happened after that. What did happen? I'm not sure. Can you help me out, Amanda?
Well, he continues his journey across New York City, and basically, he just goes kind of from hotel to hotel, bar to bar, trying to get drinks, even though most of the time he wasn't very successful. And then later on in the book, he kind of introduces.
I don't mean to stop you, but he made a date. What was her name in the book?
Yes, Sally.
Sally Hayes. He does take out some of his anger on Sally Hayes. Do you remember exactly what he said to her?
I believe he called her a pain in the ass.
A pain in the ass. Not very gentlemanlike at all. So, afterwards, what does he do after calling her a pain in the ass?
Well, I mean, just going back a little bit, first he has this crazy idea of running away with Sally, and he's just not thinking straight because he's acting basically like a child. So Sally gets mad at him saying like, no, like, wake up, like, that's not possible. And then he gets mad at her and calls her a pain in the ass, and then he just walks away.
He wants a little fantasy, but she wasn't ready for the fantasy. She was mature enough to realize that wasn't possible. She couldn't be a part of Holden's little world. And after Sally Hayes, Diana, do you remember where he goes?
I think he goes back to the pond where like the ducks are down in Central Park. Cause he's always like thinking about the ducks, like what happens to the ducks in the winter, like where do they go? It's more kind of like touching base back on his thing about like the loss of innocence, where it just like leaves for a while. And the thing with Sally Hayes is that like he just wants to run away from all the pain that he's dealt with, and everywhere he goes, he remembers Allie and the innocence that he's lost. So in a way, he kind of just wants to run away from it. But other people, he just fails to realize that other people have grown up since then, and he's just not ready to accept that.
Oh, wow. That's true. That's true.
Alright, so after Sally Hayes,
Yeah.
he at a certain point in the book, he makes his way back to his home to see Phoebe. He sneaks into the house, confronts her.
So, like, what happened was that, the reason why he wanted to see Phoebe is because he started, when he was, like, thinking, like, when he was with the ducks and stuff, he was thinking about, death, and he didn't want to die without saying goodbye to Phoebe, so he went home, and when he went over there, he wasn't sure if his parents were there, so when he went into the house, he was, like, really, really careful, and, he found Phoebe in DB's room, which is, his older brother, who's I think a writer in Hollywood now. And when he goes into the room, he started telling Phoebe about how he's supposed to like supposedly got out of school early, but Phoebe wasn't buying it because she's really smart. And she's talking about how she was so happy. She's talking about how she wanted Holden to come to her Christmas play and stuff like that. But like Holden was really, I think he was really happy to see her, but at the same time, he was really like, I guess, tired and depressed. And when he does, I forgot. I need help. You help me, Amanda.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So basically, she says she's very excited about her Christmas play, and she's just very happy to see Holden. She has a completely different view on life than Holden, being that she's young and still has her innocence. She still views the world as like a really nice and happy place, while Holden is the complete opposite. He lost his innocence and he just sees the world as this awful place, just full of phonies. And he talks with Phoebe for a little while until his parents, who were at a party in Connecticut, come home. And then he hides in the closet, waits until they're, I guess, out of sight, somewhere where they won't see him sneak out. So he sneaks out of the apartment. And then he
He makes a phone call to one of his old teachers. His name was Mr. Antolini, very peculiar man. He was an older woman. He drinks a lot. When Holden arrives to his home,
Like, when he got there, he was kinda like really upset. And Mr. Ansley, he's a rather interesting person. I mean, he tries to help Holden out in like a very sincere and passionate way, but also like him trying to help out, it kind of came across as the wrong way. I mean, like Holden was tired, like he just needed to lie down. And then Mr. Angelini was just like kind of like petting him, but then like Holden woke up and then he got really mad. And then he also got mad about something that Mr. Angelini said of like how he kind of had to let go of what was tying him down in a way, or just give up the child's fantasy things and like grow up. But he didn't like what he said, so Holden called him like a phony and he just like left. He stormed out.
Yeah. But I think like